days after they moved in. We were all bringing in groceries, and I introduced myself, shook hands, and all of that. The dad says, "Still Halloween, huh?" And I just laughed it off. Since then, we've come home 4 times to them flipping our doormat. And we know it's them because we have a Ring camera. We were fine letting them do it and just flipping it back until a couple of days ago when we caught them doing it in person. How embarrassing. We asked what the issue was, and apparently their son is super afraid of it, even though the kid was right there and was acting completely fine, not crying, not anything. The only one that seemed agitated at all was the mom, who swore at us and rolled her eyes and was just generally unpleasant. Haven't interacted with her much before or since. My wife waited until they were inside and flipped it back over. I stayed out with the dad and talked it over, and he seemed fine. He said he understood it was our space and he'd talk it over with his wife, and that his son was old enough to understand it couldn't hurt him. This morning we walked out and saw our doormat wasn't even flipped over. It was thrown outside of the stairwell. We live on the 4th floor, so it was a very deliberate thing. My wife wants to report it to management, but I'm just about tired enough of this. I kind of want to throw it away, but I also want to keep it. I don't know. I'm just confused, y'all. What the... Like, how dare another person come and touch your... I'd start a fight. I mean, probably not. But I would definitely report it. I'd get all the Ring camera videos and I'd just submit it to the management, and I'd be like, "This is really weird. This woman keeps touching my thing." I wouldn't even say it's about the clown because it doesn't matter what it is. Like, you cannot touch another person's property. It's outside of their house, and it's just crazy. Well, they're not the a-hole. I don't think there was a question. There was like a question of an a-hole or not, but yeah, definitely report. That is crazy behavior. Number 2. Am I the a-hole for telling my daughter I am disgusted by her and telling her ex she has been taking their kid to his family side? What is this grammar? Let's see. This is already kind of like, okay, we gotta be open-minded. I don't understand the title. My daughter and Ryan, her ex, hopefully that's not Ryan's real name, are 26. When they were both 18, my daughter got pregnant. They got an apartment together and started to raise their little family. They never got married, but Ryan's family pressured them to do it often. Multiple times I heard them say those two need to stop living in sin. The issue was a year ago when Ryan was caught cheating, and he is gay. The breakup was extremely messy, and in the end the custody was 50-50. Ryan's family is really religious, and when it came out they were breaking, they were pissed. When they learned Ryan was gay, they disowned him. I was at my daughter's place helping her move out when I heard Ryan's mother call him a word that you shouldn't say out loud. Derogatory. So his family is really shitty people. person has written this so badly. Like, you need grammar education, love. Not reading all the mistakes, but after he was disowned, for some reason they thought he would give them access to the grandbaby. He basically told them to shove it. I know about this because they contacted me once to let them see the kid while I was babysitting. I told them no. 50-50 has been a bit tough for my daughter. It is hard for her not to have her kid for major events. For example, Ryan had custody of the grandbaby during Easter, but he agreed to let my daughter have him for that day so they can celebrate with my side of the family. My daughter was over to pick up some stuff, and she showed me pictures from her last weekend trip. In the picture, there was Ryan's mom and his 2 siblings. I asked what this was about, and she told me that she has been taking the kid to see them for a few months now. I asked if Ryan knew. I thought they got back in contact, and she told me no. I told her that it was horrible to do, that they are bigots and disowned their kid. She got defensive, and it went into an argument. She defended taking her kids around homophobes, and I told her I was disgusted by what she was doing. I informed Ryan. He thanked me, and now my daughter, super pissed. Ryan apparently is refusing to be lenient anymore with custody. So, more getting the kid on not her day, even if my daughter wants them for some event. I don't understand this sentence, and that's how it ends. Well, I don't understand why the daughter would go to Ryan's mom when she has been so terrible to Ryan. I guess maybe she might be like, oh, he betrayed me by being gay, so I don't care. Like, that's what I would assume her mindset was. It doesn't make it okay, obviously. In any sense. And I think it's fine that the mom told Ryan, because, like, it's Ryan's kid as well. So he should. And they were sharing 50-50. So she was like, I think she was breaking their agreement, like their custody agreement, by lying about that, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's breaking some sort of, like, moral code. Not telling the father where you're taking the child when the father is exclusively asked not to take the child to see the mom. It's weird behavior. I don't think the mother was wrong to tell her daughter, like, this is wrong. Yeah, not the asshole. Alright, post 3. Oh, that post was so hard to read. Am I the a-hole for leaving my roommate halfway through our verbal agreement? I, 21, a female, had to move out of my previous apartment last year with only 15 days of notice. I made a post about it, and my budget. We agreed she'd pay about 66% of the rent and I'd cover 34%. Utilities were split 50-50. The deposit was 3 months of rent. She paid 2 and I paid 1. I worried she might resent the imbalance, so I offered to take over all the cleaning. She agreed and said she had planned to hire someone anyway due to her disability. At first, things were great, but after a while, keeping up with all the cleaning became too physically demanding for me, especially working as a server. I asked to adjust responsibilities. She responded by making a chore chart, listing everything she did daily: dishes, cooking, cat care, etc., which felt passive-aggressive, so I didn't engage with that directly. I just asked her to help by sweeping occasionally. I only sweep and mop once a week anyway. So I could mop. She can sweep with some pain but can't mop. However, she would only do it on her own timing, making it hard for me to keep up. A few months later, I got an opportunity to work as an au pair abroad. She was worried about affording the apartment alone, so I offered to keep paying my share of rent after leaving, but no utilities. That reassured her at the time. Now her salary was reduced, and she's struggling financially. I finalized my au pair placement, and since my goal is to save for school, I told her I can't keep paying rent after I leave. She didn't argue, but she's clearly upset and hasn't spoken to me in a week. I am worried she won't return my deposit or pay me back for my share of the furniture. I can't afford to buy her out, so I'm leaving my bedroom furniture, but I'm scared I won't get anything back later. She's the only one on the lease and arranged a guarantor, so I don't have a legal obligation. I'm also paying a full extra month after I leave. Still, she seems to be guilt-tripping me with silence. I don't want to help her find a new roommate. There's no subletting clause anyway. So am I the asshole? Oh my gosh. I think I missed a thing where she didn't really explain why she's moving out. She did the au pair and she completed it, right? I mean, the whole situation is like a disaster, right? Like, from the start when she said, oh, I moved in with my childhood best friend. No. I feel like you should not live with your best friend unless you're like really tight and you have the skills to work through disagreements and stuff. Like, I lived with my best friend for 3 years at university, but it was never in a situation where we were like helping each other out, where somebody had to pay 66% and somebody had to pay 33, or like things like that, you know, and a dire need where they kind of feel like they have some sort of ownership, or like in that situation, I guess the girl that was helping her out might feel like, oh, I helped her, so why won't she help me? Feeling entitled. Okay, that's what I was trying to say. Like, she might be feeling entitled. But also, like, who jumps on? Maybe she wanted to split rent with somebody, but who leaves their perfectly fine flat so fast, breaks the agreement, like their lease, to move in with somebody Also, like, she didn't have her name on the lease, so if you wanted it any other way, you would have thought ahead. And also, it's really nice that the person writing this post like paid for the rent after leaving to work as an au pair, which is crazy. Like, I would just try to find a replacement housemate. So like the person is like going to save for school and said I told her I can't keep paying after I leave, so I guess she left after finishing her placement. And it's totally fair that she doesn't have to pay rent after she leaves. Like, I don't know why she can't just find a new roommate, you know? There's so many apps nowadays where you can just like go in like spare room or an app similar to that, like, and find a new roommate. There's so many people that are looking for rooms and places to live in, you know. It's obviously a risk, but I don't think she's an asshole for not paying rent after she moves out. Yeah. I don't know. Somebody said you are the asshole. Maybe I don't understand this post fully, but I don't know. You decide what you think, you guys. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. Am I the a-hole for not going to my friend's destination wedding after she took away my +1? Ooh, tea. I love wedding stuff because it's just like so nasty. this is like really, it could be a bridezilla moment, it could be a guest list issue, but like 2 people only, and also how it's next summer, and I guess if she's writing it right now, they have plenty of time to plan and all that. Depends on the destination as well, like depends on what kind of things they're doing. Like when I did a destination wedding, everybody in the bridal party stayed together in the same place, and I did have my partner with me, so I wasn't traveling by myself. But also if I was by myself, which I'd be fine with, because I was literally meeting up with the bride and the groom and the other bridesmaids and the groomsmen when I landed to the destination, and I would have been safe, and like everyone's together, you know, we're all in a different country. So in that situation, I feel if somebody took away my +1, I'd be like, okay, I can still go. I would just let the bride know, like, I planned it as this and this, and I was really looking forward to it, sharing it with my boyfriend. He was really excited to come, try to reason with her. I don't know if I don't know how deep, if they had this conversation, or the writer wasn't comfortable being confrontive, like, I don't know, but if certainly they're not doing anything like my experience where everybody was together when they arrived at the destination, and then everybody for the next 10 days did things together, stayed at the same place. If they're not doing anything like that, I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that either. Like, and she's gonna be spending a lot of money to go to a destination wedding. It's really, like, it's not just a wedding, you know, like, what I'm trying to say is, like, sure, it's her friend's wedding, but it's not your wedding. Like, it's fine if she doesn't